So, ladies and gentlemen, buckle up because DNC Hell Week is in full swing. Night 2 of the Democrat National Convention unfolding like a slow-motion train wreck. From protesters breaching security to delegates brawling in the stands, it's a circus that would make Barnum and Bailey blush. But the real question is, can Kamala Harris salvage this disaster, or is she just rearranging deck chairs on the Titanic? And speaking of disasters, let's talk about something that's actually going up in value. I'm talking about gold. As the DNC implodes and our national debt skyrockets past $36 trillion, smart Americans are turning to the one asset that has stood the test of time. Global Gold Investments is your lifeline in these turbulent waters. With gold prices surging past $2,400 an ounce, can you afford not to protect your wealth? Call that number on the screen, 888-700-4148 now, and mention Next News for VIP treatment. Don't let the DNC's chaos sink your financial future. Okay, let's get into this right now. So just 3 hours ago, we got a tip that was sent in some intelligence behind enemy lines organizing violent, unpermitted protests tonight at 7 p.m. The Israeli Consulate, unpermitted group, may march along Madison, Washington, Randolph to United Center. Directly from their promotional material, make bruises from Chicago police batons, the 2024 back-to-school fall fashion. Disgusting. They state this will not be a peaceful protest. Their stated goal is to shut down the DNC. They're bringing thousands of protesters and have been conducting training workshops in Chicago all last week. You know the drill. Bring in anything that could be used as a projectile. Secure your homes, businesses, and vehicles. Again, they're clearly not interested in a peaceful protest. This was from a Facebook post on True West Loop, basically warning everybody in the West Loop to secure their homes and their businesses. This is where we're at right now. So let's jump right to it, okay? This is the huge fight. This is just moments ago, a huge fight breaking out after the Antifa crowd tried to go through the Chicago police line. Very chaotic scene. This is happening moments ago in Chicago. There's Taylor Hanson. Oh my. Oh my God. Oh my God. Okay, that was just moments ago. Of course, CNN would describe this as a mostly peaceful protest. More video now. This is chaos ensuing outside the Israeli Consulate in Chicago as anti-Israeli rioters clash with police. Incredibly aggressive, causing me, Nick Sortor, to end up on the ground. Oh my goodness. Let's see if Nick's got anything else to add to this moment here. This is just moments ago. And what's interesting is that we had just posted from Terry Newsom had just sent us this video. And this was just yesterday when they were announcing this.
If you have a heart, if you have a mind, if you actually want to fucking throw down for the Palestinian people and the people of the world. Come through. Come through tomorrow. We're going to the Israeli Consulate. We're not getting no fucking permit. We're not putting on no high-vis vest. A Palestinian keffiyeh and a high-vis vest are a fucking oxymoron.
And clearly, if you watched that clip, he was performing for the cameras right there. He looked at the camera. He saw it right there. Meanwhile, Air Force One is parked right outside of Santa Barbara Municipal Airport. Joe Biden's been cast aside so his president doesn't distract from Kamala's moment at the DNC. She's just been coronated, if you don't know, as the nominee. We're going to continue going on. We'll check in with that, what's going on outside of the Israeli consulate in a moment. But this is also interesting breaking news. Governor Pritzker confirmed the activation of approximately 250 Illinois National Guard members to assist with security during the Democrat National Convention. And, of course, we're going to get some reaction from Donald Trump. We're going to go through some reaction outside. But, of course, yes, last night past his bedtime. There were bomb threats all day today. Bomb threat, District 1, District 12, District 18, Buckingham Room, Michigan Plaza, St. Regis Hotel, Erie Crown Theater, Hyatt Regency McCormick, all receiving bomb threats today. Nobu Hotel, Hotel Chicago West Loop, Hyatt House Chicago Medical District Harrison, Hyatt House Fulton Market, Omni Hotel, Peninsula Hotel, Ritz-Carlton Water Tower, the Hotel Chicago 10-Pin Bowling Lounge, all receiving bomb threats today. And of course, how can we forget how they opened up Day 2? An absolute disaster. Laura Loomer weighing in. At the Women's Caucus at the DNC convention, Democrats forgot the lyrics to the national anthem. I'm at a loss for words. I guess this is expected from the party that hates America and wants our country to be taken over by communists. Listen to this.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we...
Now, if you listen carefully, you can hear the lyrics being played in the background, and they are completely out of sync. Oh, what an embarrassment. What an embarrassment.
Responsible for having a fucking party in this fucking city. This is what we think of your fucking rag. This is what we think of your fucking rag. The only acceptable American flag is one that is burned to char.
Wow. Going on right now.
For any American citizen confused, I want you to reflect back on the last 5 years. If you're fucking older than 16, then you remember 2008. You remember.
These people are out of their minds. It continues. We've got so much to get to here. Reviews are in for Day 1 of the DNC. Of course, yesterday, train wreck. It's fair. This is on CNN. Are you ready for this? CNN, of all places. They said it's fair to say that the Republicans had a tighter ship.
There are a lot of people, if they have made it this far into what is, to be honest, on the East Coast, the second day of the Democratic National Convention, as I'm not the first one to observe.
It is late, which is
rather late.
Very notable, I think, for a lot of reasons.
Yeah, I mean, it is fair to say that the Republicans had a tighter ship. At those
Jake Tapeworm weighing in, actually admitting the Republicans had a tighter ship. And of course, if you missed this, did you see this? This is the Palestinian protesters breaking in to the DNC, holding up their banner, and of course getting it promptly taken from them. Massive standoff happening right now in front of the Israeli Consulate, blocks away from the DNC. It is out of control there. Absolutely out of control. Joe Biden hanging out in California. And of course, last night, Joe Biden gave a midnight speech when everybody was sleeping. They pushed him to the end of the docket for the evening, and he, of course, presents his lie he's been pushing for years.
When the president was asked what he thought had happened, Donald Trump said, and I quote, "There are very fine people on both sides. My God." That's what he said.
Yeah, can we get a fact checker? Oh, Snopes? Snopes went ahead and fact checked that a long time ago, but he continues to peddle that lie to the American people. Now, Kamala Harris and I are committed. You remember this? Did you hear this last night? This is last night.
Demonize immigrants, saying they're the poison of blood of America, poison the blood of our country. Kamala and I are committed to strengthening legal immigration.
Strengthening illegal immigration. Yeah, that's exactly what they're doing. A little Freudian slip there from Joe Biden. And, okay, now Mr. Reagan posted this about 14 hours ago. I woke up to this. The most ironic moment of the DNC.
Donald Trump would be able to weaponize the Department of Justice to go after his political opponents. He could even turn the FBI into his own personal police force.
That's exactly what they're doing.
That is not how it works in America. That's how it works in dictatorships.
So I guess we are living in a dictatorship, aren't we? Because that's all we've seen for the past 2 years as they go after Donald Trump repeatedly. Today's cover, Democrats bury an angry, shouting Joe Biden at 11:30 p.m. in a final disgrace. New York Post posting this headline today. Democrats deliver final insult by pushing Biden's angry, bitter speech to midnight past his bedtime. Donald Trump posts from his Truth Social, Trump Vance. Democrats have no vision or solution for the country. Democrats have no vision. They would rather talk about President Trump than the problems facing our nation due to Kamala Harris' failures. Mentions last night. Trump 147 times. The border 8 times. Economy 27. Inflation 3 times. Yes, they continue. It keeps going on. Now, Savannah Hernandez, she was out there, and she tracked down one of those abortion vans. So if you're looking for an abortion or a vasectomy, head on down to the United Center, and you can get one for free because Planned Parenthood has got you covered. Savannah Hernandez getting this footage, the first footage we have seen of these abortion vans. She says patients actively walking in and out of these vans. Frontlines powered by Turning Point USA. So there goes a young man in there about to get the snip. And there goes a woman in there. She's getting ready to get her abortion. Close the door. Need a little privacy. Oh, there's the huge IUD right in front. There was a great clip that was posted. We're going to check back in with what's going on in Israel. We've got, there's just so much to cover here. I don't even know where to begin. Oh, yes. Here, take a look at this. As all the chaos is unfolding, Ben Bradley TV catches this video of Walls out for a leisurely jog this morning amidst all the chaos. Yeah. Trying to look all fit and energized, ready to take on America. At the same time, we've got absolute chaos unfolding. This is all while the delegates are casting their votes for Kamala Harris. Look at this madness. Look at this madness. Wow. Feels like 1968, boys. 1968. Now, reporter William Kelly, he was out there. He said, due to the events of today, the pro-Hamas protesters' breach of the DNC security perimeter and attempts to storm the United Center this afternoon, he had second thoughts about presenting this video. Let's take
Mayor
a look.
Johnson.
Listen, come on now. That's a terrible question.
I know it is.
That's a terrible question. No, he won't. Listen, come on now. That's a terrible question.
I know it is.
That's a terrible question. No, he won't.
Thanks. Well, here's what we know so far. Mayor Johnson has issued a statement saying that it's a privilege to have the demonstrators come to Chicago for the DNC to issue their demands, that it strengthens democracy. What he didn't say is how one-sided protest strengthens democracy. If I get a chance to ask him that, I will.
Hello, reproductive justice champion. Let me hear.
Kelly, how you doing, brother?
Good.
How are you?
Hey,
Quickly, so what are you expecting tonight?
Well, we're expecting a peaceful protest. Everybody here seems to be peaceful. They seem to be on message, and all they want to do is have their voices heard.
Yes, and there's obviously a lot of police here tonight. What about the other 50 wards?
We have police over there too, but we have to make sure that we maintain traffic control and everything else to make sure that people are safe as they're marching. This does, especially in this footprint, it requires a hefty amount of police officers to make sure no one gets hurt.
I do hear that the mayor is calling the organizers of the protests, making deals.
I can't tell you about that. I don't know. I'm not having those conversations.
I can't tell you about that. The mayor calling the organizers of the protests.
With the mayor.
Has he told you to stand down?
What I'm concerned about right now is what we do here and make sure that people are safe.
Will the mayor throw you under the bus?
Listen, come on now.
Did the mayor throw you under the bus?
That's a terrible question.
I know it is.
That's a terrible question. No, he won't.
Thanks. Well, you heard it from the superintendent. Hopefully he's right. We won't have any danger here tonight, any violence here tonight, or in any of the other 50 wards of the city.
Yeah. But now, of course, it is all hell is breaking loose at the DNC. Here we have Gaza protesters inside the Women's Caucus meeting. Tim Walz attending. More chaos unfolding. Hell Week continues. Hell Week continues. Meanwhile, the Democrats, according to CNN, they've added a third layer.
And what you can see is down the street here, they're adding an extra layer of fencing. So now, instead of 2 layers of fence, there is 3 layers. And this is, just an example of the way that law enforcement is trying to fortify this area after the breach. And a couple other things that we're seeing, the fence that's different this morning is these bolts here that are securing these in place. And then, in addition, this extra layer here, Kate, it stopped at the top of this panel, and then what we saw this morning is this extra panel going up. And what protesters were able to do, Kate, is they sort of got together and they came from the bottom and half away.
Yeah, that's what they did. That's what they did. In fact, we're going to head over to our main page. We just uploaded like 20 videos that Terry Newsom sent us, and one of the videos, you can clearly see them right here. Boom. Check that out. You can see the person hammering the hinges of it. This was yesterday.
DNC is right there.
Working the hinges to get those barriers down. Nothing's going to stop these people. Nothing is going to stop these people at all. We got more, folks. You ready? Here is, I want to get to the shot of the National Guard deployment. Here it is. National Guard on the scene, deploying for all these protesters. Listen to this.
Used in Chicago. National Guard troops were deployed to assist security efforts. And it's not just the Guard being used in Chicago. On Saturday, Police Superintendent Larry Snelling deputized about 300 police officers from Milwaukee and downstate Illinois to work with Chicago police.
I want to reassure everyone that we will have resources in every single neighborhood. So it's not forgotten that we have a city to protect. It's not just around the venues covering the Democratic National Convention.
Yeah. Meanwhile, they're boarding up the entire city. Here's another shot of the protest. This is a more National Guard on the scene. Marissa Hansen posting this image. Looks like maybe it is a hotel lobby where Illinois Governor Pritzker activated hundreds of National Guard troops to protect Democrat officials at the DNC from protesters and rioters. Why didn't he do this when they were burning down minority neighborhoods and businesses in the summer of 2020? Great question. Great question. Oh, Donald Trump posting this from his Truth Social account. Listen,
Donald Trump.
This is how obsessed these people are with Donald Trump, programming all the people in attendance, all the people watching to hate the man.
Donald Trump.
Donald Trump.
Donald Trump. Donald Trump.
Donald Trump.
Donald Trump.
Donald Trump.
Donald Trump. Donald Trump.
Donald Trump.
Donald Trump. Donald Trump.
Trump. Trump.
Who in the hell does he think he is? Who does he think he is?
These people are sick.
They are. Yeah. Take that. Let's check back in. Okay, so here's a shot of this is businesses boarding up, National Guard on standby in anticipation of riots at the DNC. BG on the scene. You can take a look. Look at this shot. Look at these poor business owners. This is what they have to resort to in Chicago for the Democrat National Convention. Staples. You can't even go and get Staples and printer ink. Oh, I guess they're open, though. How inviting. What do you think? That's from Dads Who Dad posted that. Here is Joe Rambo posting this. 17 agencies and the National Guard.
To expect from a group like that. But what I can tell you is what I expect from our side. We're going to stay focused on First Amendment protection, but we're also going to make sure that we protect everyone in this city.
So Chicago police again turning out here. And just a reminder, Chicago PD has 17 other law enforcement agencies from across Illinois and from Wisconsin here in town, helping them with the DNC, along with, the governor says, the National Guard. But those other agencies, the city says, are guarding facilities, they're guarding buildings and sites. Yeah. CPD is the only agency out here. City officers are out here dealing with the protests and getting ready for another night out.
Getting ready for another night. And it's all happening right now, as we just showed you, with the Israeli Consulate under siege right now, as you're watching this. Hell is breaking loose in Chicago. But an interesting observation here. This is when Kamala Harris took the stage. Looks like a lot of empty seats there. Everyone seemed to have gone home for the evening. That was last night. The speakers tonight: Michelle Obama, Barack Obama, Chuck Schumer, J.B. Pritzker, Tammy Duckworth, Bernie Sanders, Michelle Lujan Grisham, and the second gentleman, Doug Emhoff, as well. CNN political commentator calling out network's fact checker Daniel Dale live on the air.
Several things, right? One, this was a very base. One, the Democrats better get their act together because it was terribly orchestrated, put together. It took too long. Joe Biden went way in the night. I know this gets consumed differently. Not most Americans aren't staying up to watch this. They're going to watch it in snips and clips. But it was really just poorly produced, and I think that was a missed opportunity in a lot of places because sweet baby James got bumped from the ticket last night, right? You had James Taylor in here practicing. I think that there wasn't a lot of outreach to the Tim Walz part of the party. If you're a white working class guy in Erie County, Pennsylvania, nothing spoke to you last night. They weren't going after those voters, the Tim Walz voters last night. It was geared towards, specific, very heavy on abortion, right? Lots of women of color and women. So you're right. My demographic was not the target last night. And so I thought that was kind of interesting.
Well, your target, your demographic will never be the target, my friend, because you are the problem.
And look, Daniel Dale wasn't around last night. So, I think in terms of fact checking, just a couple quick fact checks here to provide Daniel Dale.
He's got his notebook.
The convention didn't run long, as the convention planner said, because of applause. Okay, this is factually not correct. It didn't run long because of applause. It ran long because of poor planning. Project 2025 is not the blueprint for the Trump campaign. When the state senator stood there and said that, I'm like, are you kidding me? President Trump has stood on numerous platforms and said, I disavow this. It's at NPR. It's on this network.
But
we got to fact check.
The architect of that was on camera saying he was totally for it. And
the architect can say whatever he wants. But when the candidate stands up there, I think it's our obligation to say the Trump campaign and the candidate has disavowed this. The third thing is that Trump has said, I will not sign a federal ban on abortion. I will not sign it if it comes to me. I won't sign it. And Trump has always been for exceptions for life of the mother, rape, incest, the normal kind of things that every person in the abortion world has ever been for. And yet that was kind of implied. Joe Biden finally topped it all off with the lie of lies about Charlottesville that Snopes and everybody else has kind of said this isn't true. So those kind of things that kind of marred from a factual perspective. I think those are kind of should have been fact checked along the way because they just weren't true, and it kind of devolved. I think, if those things, the big things aren't true, what other things aren't true that are being said? So again, I'm not the audience. It was a red meat for the Democratic base.
Blue meat.
Blue meat. Yeah. There you go, folks. There you go. We can keep looking at the Israeli Consulate. Let's check back in real quick. Israeli Consulate. Oh boy. Let's just check in the DNC here. DNC riots. Massive stand. Holy cow. Oh my God. Holy cow, here's more. Look at this lineup, friends. Chicago cops dominating the far-left activists, pushing them away from the Israeli consulate. Officers have formed multiple walls to push back. Look at that. They got a drone up there. Holy cow. And here we have a dog. Yeah. Updated GPS reveals over 88,000 foreign and domestic Antifa members are in Chicago to protest the DNC. 61,000 foreign and over 27,000 domestic. Some of these Antifa members have been linked to past riots and have also accessed key cards required by the FBI DOJ parking garages. How nice. Pro-Palestine demonstrators currently clashing with the Chicago PD riot squad.
Look at the shame of yourself! What the fuck do you think about your dirty fucking talk?
Okay, we're going to check on this later in the show, but as the dust settles on another night of DNC mayhem, one thing is clear: the Democrat Party is in free fall. With protesters at the gates, chaos in the halls, Kamala Harris and her team scrambling for control. But here's the kicker, folks. This is not just a bad night for the Democrats. It's a wake-up call for America. So stay tuned, because this political earthquake is far from over, and it's only day 2.